Times, we will say and do things that then sabotage how we handle life. You know what I mean? And so many times when stuff happens in life, and I'm noticing this more than ever, people react. People react to something someone else did. And I was talking about it the other day as it relates to getting angry and how I believe we decide to get angry. People don't do something that makes us angry. We decide to become angry. We say, oh, that makes me mad. It makes me angry. And it's sort of like giving the power to someone else to make us feel a certain way and then react. Well, that's part of the problem, that when we react, it's in a negative place. When we react, it's in a place where we probably shouldn't be reacting in the way that we are, but we don't really know better because we've only been taught to do the same thing all the time. And so we tend to always, notice I said always deal with issues by reacting. Somebody made me mad. I reacted. But how did you react? People often say that's the important part. I say no. I don't think reacting is important. I think how you respond is important. So many times, if you would just wait, count to 5, 10, 50, whatever you need to do to not respond with the initial thought in your head, you'll give a response and not a reaction. But it's the reaction that gives you the dopamines, right? It's the reaction that gives you the, that feeling of being alive. It can also come back and bite you. And so what do you do about that? What do you do when you want to react? You know you should respond, but you react anyway. Usually when we get in trouble for saying something, usually when we get in trouble for doing something, we're reacting to what someone said or something someone did. Because if we were to actually respond in a proper way, I dare say we wouldn't. If there's one thing I learned over a certain age, past a certain age, 9 times out of 10, when someone says or does something, it's not deserving of a reaction or a response. And if you do, it should be generic enough where the person doesn't form an opinion or a thought or a rejection or support of whatever you say. So we say what? I know what I say. I say, okay. And that pretty much just kills it. It's true when you say the arguing brings about that endorphin, right? And you go back and forth and you get the feeling and you feel great and it's, mental stimulation and all that. But in the end, you can just let it go. And so when people react to something someone else said and did, I think you lose. In the moment, you lose. the discussion I had last year that won me the Wisconsin Broadcast Association Best Large Market Radio Show was about the N-word and how people react and respond to the N-word. And how saying that word, that we've now come up with a word that I've since thrown out in 2024, is it triggers you. And I said, no, that's a reaction. That causes you and gives you the green light to say and do whatever you want based on something somebody else did, which goes down the same road of you made me mad, you made me happy, you made me sad, you made me do this, you made me do that. When in fact, it's you. You made the decision and you were intentional to be mad, upset, throw something, holler, argue, scream, get angry, get happy, be loving. It's intentional. So if we're going to get through 2024, disagree, and still move forward in a positive way, we have to recognize when we're about to react. And that way, simply keep your mouth shut. And there's nothing like quiet to kill someone's thought, opinion, words. Just quiet. Or just respond, okay. But in the long, right, in the grand scheme of things, there's only one thing you have to remember whenever anything happens, whenever somebody jumps up and screams and hollers, it's something simple. In 2024, only one thing I want you to do. It's very simple. Respond. Don't react.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, the time is almost here. Be sure to tune into Nothing But the Truth with your girl Melanie Ricks, Wednesday, January 31st, between noon and 1 p.m., as I'll be giving away $5,000 to one of our lucky Truth fans who entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. Again, that's Wednesday, January 31st, when I will be giving away $5,000 to one of our lucky Truth fans on my show between noon and 1. And remember, you have to be tuned into the show in order to win this cash money.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org. That's 800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org.
Heard at work? If you or someone you know has been injured on the job, they may be eligible for workers' compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, job retraining, and even a lump sum cash settlement. I'm attorney Alex Eichhorn, partner and workers' compensation attorney at Tabak Law. The workers' compensation system can be complicated and frustrating to navigate. At Tabak Law, we have helped hundreds of injured workers. Contact Tabak Law to set up an absolutely risk-free consultation at tabakattorneys.com. Contact Tabak for the payback. tabakattorneys.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017, the number. So I'm going back to, wait a minute, where are we going? So I'm going back to the story we talked about the other day as it relates to the woman who died. So you remember we were talking about the other day, the woman that passed away when she slipped and fell, and they sent folk to go look for her, and, well, they didn't find her. Well, this from CBS58.com, a story by Adam Reif. New video shows responding ambulance did not slow at bus stop where woman soon died from hypothermia. New video shows an ambulance from CBS 58. A new video shows an ambulance seemingly not slowing down as it drove just feet from where a woman lay in sub-zero temperatures. 49-year-old Jolene Waldriff died from hypothermia less than an hour later on January 15th near a bus stop. The Curtis ambulance crew that was unable to find her was not required to get out of their vehicle to look for her. So they may not be wrong, technically, and they may not be wrong and they followed protocol. But as a human being, it just stinks. At a news conference yesterday, Curtis ambulance officials said their crews are allowed to drive past the scene, but they did not have to get out the vehicle to look for a patient. Both the Curtis ambulance representatives and the fire department described the incident as a terrible tragedy. She was hidden behind an electrical box, a garbage can, and piles of snow. They didn't see her as she drove past, and they did not stop to look for her. And that's my problem. They didn't even stop. The crew did the best. That is a lie. I'm sorry. I shouldn't call somebody a liar. James Baker, CEO of Curtis Ambulance, said yesterday the crew did the best they could by looking for the patient. No, they didn't. I disagree. And that's why I said the other day, had the fire department or police department showed up, they would have gotten out and looked for that woman. They did their due diligence. They didn't do anything wrong. The EMS system here worked as designed. If that's how it worked and somebody died, you need to reevaluate that. Trying to catch the bus on 76 in Congress when she fell near the sidewalk. She called 911 at 5:23. Curtis went 4 minutes later. It first drive past the two bus stops in the east lanes, went up a block, did a U-turn, came back and checked the bus stop on the northeast corner. They said she fell. So why would you think you could see somebody in a snowbank that fell? Like, how? Really? New surveillance video from that time shows a Curtis ambulance responding as Baker described, but the ambulance crew and a 12-year veteran and a 2-year veteran did not appear to slow down at any of the bus stops. Baker said there was no patient found at any of the 4 places. Our best guess is that the crew was unable to see anybody that was on a sidewalk or fence area. So then you didn't check. And protocol doesn't require them to get out of their vehicles to look for patients. Yeah, human decency might. But God forbid one of your parents, one of your kids, somebody in your family is lying there. And then all of a sudden you would have gone crazy trying to scream and holler about how somebody didn't save you. I bet if it was the police doing it, all of a sudden you would have gone out of your way to scream and holler. It's ridiculous. I know next time I call the ambulance, I'm going to ask them who's coming. I'm going to show check. Excuse me, who's coming? Who? Nah, it's okay. I'll walk. Bye. I'll walk. That is so unfortunate. A woman would be alive with her family today had just simply stopped and looked. Literally with your eyes, checked the sidewalk and you would have seen her. Oh, she was hidden behind snow. From the street, everybody's hidden behind the snow. You didn't look. And here's the kicker. You ready? At a cross street, had you turned, you could have looked both ways on the sidewalks to see if somebody was laying down there. And you didn't. You could have done that on both sides of the street. Cops do it at alleyways all the time. You can stop at the alley, look left and right, and you can see each block in each direction and see it. That's all you had to do. So we talk about you followed protocol. Did you? And did you do the absolute minimum required for the contract? 833-212-1017 is the number. Eddie, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Ken?
I'm good.
Hey, I was wondering about the story I heard also that was it a pedestrian that walked over the lady and kept going or something? Did that happen as well?
I think that's what we were hearing that people were saying, but in fact, there were two pedestrians that actually called. I don't know if that happened. It may have. It may not have. But I know later two pedestrians called when they were both at different they were at different parts of the scene, and they both called. Uh-huh. So they called, but they weren't together. Does that means two different people saw it at the same time, both called, and they got two calls at the same time? Whether or not somebody stepped over her, I don't know.
No, okay. Another question about this. I thought the fire department is usually the person that responds with 911. How did Curtis ambulance get called first?
Depending on what the protocol says, and I don't know exactly what it says. I used to when I was on the department. I'm sure it's changed since. A low priority call, a woman fell, which I don't really call a low priority call. That's a whole other issue.
Right. With the weather conditions and stuff, how could that be low priority?
Well, they had no confirmation that life was in danger, so that made it what they call a lower priority. It might have been a priority 3. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't know fire department protocols. I know police, but not fire. So, you know.
And I'm wondering if this was in another area with the same results been in our area. I don't know what race. I'm trying not to make it a race issue or nothing like that. But some people are so scared of our neighborhood they don't follow through. When you're talking about human life, you got to look at that a little differently. And I wonder if this was out in Brookfield or Mequon or one of those areas, would the results been the same? Would they have just kept on going, or would they did their due diligence and look for the body? And the bad part about this is what can be done. I mean, they might change the rules for in the future, but right now, what can be done? You know, I'm quite sure they're not going to face any disciplinary actions or anything like that. So somebody's got to step out, and I haven't heard any politicians step forward, aldermen or mayor or anybody say anything about this situation. So what do you do?
Well, Alderman Burkowski was upset, and they were mad, and several aldermen and women are upset. So I think something will eventually be done. I don't know if we can say that this happened because of it being on the north side of Milwaukee. At this point, based on protocol, it could have happened in the North Shore. It could have happened in Brown Deer, Mequon, Brookfield, Racine. It could have happened anywhere. I think the unfortunate part is compounded by the sub-zero temperatures and the wind chill that was so cold. The fact that somebody had fallen and they had called and then you couldn't get in touch with them. For me, and I can only speak for me, that would have heightened my curiosity to try to make sure that we couldn't find this person.
One more question, Dr. Ken, I hope this makes sense. I believe we have a communication breakdown in our community. People don't know how to, and I'm not saying, I know you don't like that, but a majority to me don't know how to communicate that well, or, she might have just said she failed and didn't go any further. But, it's funny, when you call AAA and ask for assistance, the first question they ask you, are you in a safe place? Are you in a dangerous place? They ask you, they pre-screen you to determine if they need to put you at the top of the list or where they put you at. And maybe some kind of way when they talk to these people, they need to ask questions. Who knows, the lady that called or the people that called probably didn't express it right or something. To me, it was a major breakdown in communication, and people usually react to how things are explained to them, and that can create a big problem.
Well, it wasn't a breakdown in communication. It wasn't a breakdown in communication because they were unable to. The fire department did what they were supposed to do. Technically, Curtis Ambulance did what they were supposed to do. It was unfortunate that it happened. However, there was no breakdown in communication because the woman called, and when they called back, she didn't answer. She hit her head on the way down, which then caused her to lose consciousness and not be able to answer the phone. So she hit her head, she fell, she dialed 911, and then and the assumption on my part, because I didn't read the autopsy report, she subsequently passed out. It was cold.
Did they play the recording of her call?
Yes. Yeah, they have it. They have it. And then they called her back as protocol dictates, and they tried to raise her, and they couldn't. So they sent her. Now, here's my thing. Is that an instance where we need to start to give up some of our rights and not make it so hard that when police in an emergency, when you call 911 and they need to ping your phone, they need to ping your phone. We need to start giving that right. Like you need to be able to consciously say, I give my phone carrier permission to allow law enforcement or fire department emergency services to ping my phone if I call 911.
Well, to me, Dr. Cannon, that's the point I'm making right there. When you said she made the call and then she passed out and they couldn't contact her, someone came to an assumption or conclusion, and then with the follow-up of the ambulance people coming by and not seeing anyone, they assume, and I'm speaking in general, that they probably assumed it was a false call or something.
No,
because of the fact they couldn't get back in touch with her.
No, you have to understand.
You don't think so?
No, because it happens at police departments all the time. It happens with fire departments. You always get sent multiple times to a call, multiple times to calls where it's nothing, where it ends up being nothing. Nobody's there, nobody's out.
Right.
That doesn't mean nothing happened. That means when you got there, it wasn't there. So what you have to do is keep going every time and you treat every call. And I gave an example this morning on our sister station, 620 WTMJ. There used to be a woman when I worked in District 6.
You got to do due diligence.
That's what I'm trying to show you. They did due diligence. They did it. But let me.
Ambulance didn't get out and look for her.
They don't have to. So
that's my point.
That's not the point. The point is that's the protocol. That's nothing we can do about it. It's in the past. There's nothing we can do.
Well, I don't agree with the protocol. When it comes to life, I think you got to take.
But you can't. But now But listen. We don't know the future, so we can only work on protocol and information that we have. So if they did the 911, the dispatcher couldn't do anything. Dispatcher had to send somebody. So they're either going to send a fire department based on protocol or a private ambulance. They sent a private ambulance based on protocol. That's it.
So
their job is done.
There's no exceptions to the rules of protocol.
How do you make an exception to a rule after the fact?
Because you should have learned from it.
You can't make an exception to a rule after the fact.
My thing is that I always feel I've done a lot of things, Dr. Ken, and I always found out follow through is the best policy to follow.
They did their jobs,
especially when it comes to human rights.
But they followed through. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. You're armchair quarterbacking about something that can't be because you can't go back and change it. And so let me give you an example.
Go back and change it, but if they got out the car.
Well, but we can what if, like the CEO said, we can what if till we're blue in the face, but they worked with what they had. But let me give you an example. I used to work on the South Side in District 6 on the Southwest end. I think I was squad 67 or 68. There was at the time it was that. Now they're different. They're 4-digit numbers. There was a woman who every evening in the summertime called 911. She was 89, 90-something years old. Every day she would call, and I would go out there, and I would sit with her, and I would talk to her for about 10 minutes right at the beginning of the shift. And then I would tell the dispatcher, okay, which is a C10, which means I advised. We talked to her. She's doing fine. She's great. She just wanted somebody to talk to. Literally every day for about 2 weeks. It seemed like it might have been only 2 or 3 days. I went to this lady's house to the point where I would literally get in my car, go 10-8, that means put myself in service, and I would tell the dispatcher I was heading to the West End because we're going to get a call, and sure enough, her call was pending when I got to work of 911, and old lady, she says somebody's in her house. So I drive out there, I go check her house, I go upstairs, downstairs, basement, nobody in her house. I sit there and talk to her for about 10 minutes, and then I would leave. Had I treated that the same way, I would have blown that lady off, not gone out there, checked on her, you all right? Okay, and just went away. She just wanted somebody to talk to. But I still had to show my due diligence because it was a 911 call, and it just might be the time that something bad happened. Sure enough, because she kept saying, and you can put this wherever you want, she kept saying, you know, my sister keeps coming to see me. Well, where's your sister? My sister's dead. Okay. One night, I come to work, no phone call. I go out to the house, family's there. Oh, yeah, she passed away. So
and
I could have left her.
Dr. King, you making my point.
No.
You making my point because in a way, you making my point.
Okay, help.
You might not have seen that way, but you're making my point because you could have brushed it off and not went anyway and said, "Oh, I'm getting a day work." You didn't assume anything. Someone told you to follow up. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you got to go outside of protocol to get the job done. And to me, it showed that you care. And not only that, she probably enjoyed your company for that 10 minutes.
But I didn't go outside of protocol.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Like I just showing up with an outside of protocol?
Absolutely. See, that's why there's a difference between police and fire and then private. So we talk about wanting to privatize stuff, but you really don't want to privatize stuff because if you do, those are the types of things that could happen. No matter what people say about the police, no matter what people say about the fire department, they take pride in the fact that they get it right 99% of the time.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I just think you can't take it back, but maybe if somebody just pulled out to the stop sign and the not the driver, but the other person jumped out and looked, it might have made a difference. You're right. You know, it might have made a difference.
You're absolutely right. All right. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Finn.
Take care.
Yep.
Hey, we got Miss Sandra. We got G. We got Talking Text Line. All these things going on. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Traffic, sports, weather, and you up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. Mm-hmm. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive On collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. But I like to say that, Black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of Black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44% that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
The first person that came to mind was Gruber.
He kind of was hurt and called Gruber Law Offices.
I know that they've been here for a very long time. They actually came to me. Didn't cost me anything at all. It was just one call and that was all.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a job? Direct Connect MKE is a social media style platform that empowers you to grow your social network, find career opportunities, and connect with career specialists for success. Visit joindcmke.com today to learn how you can create a profile, upload your resume, and find access to information about jobs, job training, hiring events, and more. DCMKE is locally focused and equips you to grow your social capital and find opportunities that match your career interests. Visit joindcmke.com today and connect your dream to reality.
The traffic and weather update on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is sponsored by the City of Milwaukee's Direct Connect MKE. Make connections and explore career opportunities by visiting directconnectmke.com. Southbound on 43, backing up basically from just before Hampton Avenue all the way down through the Marquette. So be prepared for that. Northbound side, still dealing with an accident on the high-rise bridge. So you're seeing backups from around Lincoln up to that point. Westbound on 94, slowing down out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, almost to Hawley Road. The eastbound side's going to be slow from 76th Street to about 27th Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 36. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 42. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. The offseason activities are fully underway in Titletown this week as the Packers are still on the hunt for their next defensive coordinator. Green Bay did add 2 more names to their search on Tuesday, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Ravens secondary coach Denard Wilson and inside linebackers coach for Baltimore, Zach Orr. Over to college hoops, where the 9th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles secured their 5th win in a row. This one on the road in Villanova for the 85-80 win.
Kolek has it in the right corner. Kolek will try another 3. Good again!
Kolek with a career-high 32 points, and with the win, Marquette improving to 16-5 on their season. And lastly, the Milwaukee Bucks are back on the road tonight in Portland as their West Coast road trip continues on. Coverage will get underway over on WTMJ beginning at 8:30 with a tip time of 9 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host. 833-212-1017 is the number. Talk and text line. Grant said, Dr. Ken, when it's really cold like that, I don't like to stand outside while pumping my gas. Walk to the post office to check my mail. But if I'm being paid to render aid and save lives, how can the Curtis Ambulance Brain Trust decide that this individual did their very best? What a shame. 833-212-1017 is the number. G, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. I just had a couple of questions for you. Because since you have you have some experience in this matter, and kind of what that previous caller was talking about. They knew they had a location. Am I correct? When she called,
they had an area. Yes.
Fell?
Yes.
Yeah, that she fell. So if someone falls, why would you if someone fails, that means that they're laying down, and when it's being cold, why wouldn't they just get out and just kind of walk and kind of take a look as to, if they had an area or location, because they did ride by there.
Mm-hmm.
And my question for you, so if a person is at a residence and they call 911, like if they're having trouble breathing or something and they can't get in, with your experience, does the fire department, because I've heard people say that, I don't know if it's true or not, but do they break in, or if they can't get in, like if a person is calling and they need help or something, for whatever reason, do they do that? Is that their protocol or not?
Depends on what the call is. So if I get there, you call 911 from inside the house. This is me speaking.
Right.
Minus any protocols by Milwaukee Police Department, Fire Department, all that. Me. Based on my training and experience and belief. If I come to your house, you call 911, we get a call back, and there's no response on the callback, and we know the call came from your house.
Right.
And I don't know why, there's really not a lot I can do.
Oh, I see.
If you call 911 and say help, right? If you utter the words help, if you say I've hurt myself, I fell, whatever, when I get to the house and I knock on the door and you don't answer, I'm kicking the door in. Because it's easier for the city to pay for a door than for you to pay with your life. That's just me.
Right. Now, I'm just troubled that the CEO or whoever, that he kind of didn't take more of a different response to that, because like I said, if someone failed just to ride around the block a couple of times, I'm just troubled by that. And like I said, is it just our community, or would they made more effort to see,
they didn't even stop.
Right.
They said they checked. They didn't even stop.
Right. Especially when someone fails. So, I mean, and you had a location. I'm just kind of troubled that that didn't have to happen. But, I'll let other callers get in, and I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you.
I appreciate it, G. Take care. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Dr. Ken.
Hey, how are you?
It's me again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. You was going to say, just okay? I'm okay. I'm just sitting here looking out the door, looking at my little drug people. But anyhow, you were speaking of the lady that was that died at that bus stop or something.
Yes.
I saw on TV where they said two people had stopped, and one lady, the last lady that stopped, she was the one that called. Well, two of them called in, but
correct.
I think the last one that stopped was the one that got the ambulance to come. But it just reminded me of a time I was getting out of work. I was working second shift, so I got off at 11:30. I was ready to get on the expressway on Mineral and about 5th and Mineral over there.
Right.
And a girl was laying down there on the ground. She was riding a motorcycle, and she was laying there on the ground. And I looked, and her leg was twisted all the way around. I said, oh, but she wasn't, screaming in pain, but I know she's very badly hurt. So I took my car, I blocked the ramp, I called 911, and then I asked her if she wanted me to call her family, give me a number. And I called her family, and I waited for the ambulance and everything with her. And so when incidents happen, you got to be thinking. I even say that now, even like if emergency happened here, instead of, because my mom used to holler and cry and scream. And so I said, I can't do that. I got to be thinking all the time.
Right.
And then, I had posted some, some medical alerts, like if you're having a heart attack, what to look for. If you're having a stroke, what to look for. So I posted some of that, on the refrigerator with the magnetized things.
Yeah.
So, the second lady, the last lady, she stayed there with her. So I'm just saying, we have, you care, stay with them. Stay with them. If you see them there, stay with them.
Sage advice. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All
okay.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And so the two women who saw, they got two different calls from two different people about the same thing. This is after Curtis cleared from the same place. Now we have video that they didn't even stop. They said they checked, but they didn't check. They just kept going. Rolled by. Did a rolling stop. Unfortunate. 833-212-1017 is the number.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
And at the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
Are you an older adult or an adult with disability who makes too much for Medicaid benefits? Well, good news. You may qualify for $7,200 to help pay for short-term or continuous in-home services through the new Milwaukee County Independent Living Supports pilot program. If you qualify, it can help pay for things like specialized medical equipment, home modifications, personal care, and other services that improve your quality of life. Do yourself a favor and don't leave this opportunity on the table. You deserve to live life to the fullest. Find out if you qualify right away by visiting county.milwaukee.gov/ILSP. Again, that's county.milwaukee.gov/ILSP. Or call 414-289-6874. Again, that's 414-289-6874. Milwaukee County Independent Living Supports Pilot Program. Live your life to the fullest.
Okay, Fred, so I got some questions.
What's up?
Where should I go if I want to start my own business?
You go to ErieInsurance.com.
Okay, Fred, so where should I go if my kid needs an internship or if I need a job? Where do I go?
You go to ErieInsurance.com.
Okay, so what if I want to work for a company that believes in diversity, has great benefits, and growth for people like us?
You already know. It's ErieInsurance.com.
Man, so Fred, I just need to go to Erie Insurance?
Go to ErieInsurance.com for all that you need.
It's amazing!
Attention Wisconsin, Eagle Sports Range is now open, proudly claiming the title of Wisconsin's largest indoor range. Enjoy 40 lanes, unlimited range time, no reservations needed, and an impressive selection of 100 firearm rentals with unlimited swaps. Experience the thrill like never before. Visit Eagle Sports Range at 2525 East Layton Avenue in Cudahy. Text TRUTH to 414-375-6030 for a free range pass. Valid for one person only, expires within 48 hours. That's 414-375-6030.
This is 1017 The Truth's Tori Lowe, and the time is now, Milwaukee. I believe the people who listen to the Tori Lowe Show are ready for real change in the community and love to bring all the smoke. Tap in, Truth Nation, to the Tori Lowe Show every day from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The movement continues. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon, the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Yep, that's us. Home to Milwaukee Panthers basketball. Don't miss any of the hoop action by listening to Panthers basketball on 1017 The Truth app, and all your favorite streaming platforms. Tomorrow, the Panthers are on the road as they take on the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. That's coverage beginning at 5:30, so my show going to be over at 5:27. And then we got a 6 o'clock tip-off, so make sure you hang around for that. Also want to remind you, the Black-owned business Give Back is back, and we're again teamed up with Associated Bank to help local black businesses grow and succeed together. The home of Milwaukee Black Talk will be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses each quarter of 2024. To sign up for this incredible marketing opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. 833-212-1017 is the number. So let me see what the talking text. So I was looking at something that Oregon is doing. So, after the whole Black Lives Matter and then COVID and then all that stuff, there were some serious issues in Portland. I think they're still protesting every day. Like every single day. COVID was over and they were still protesting in downtown Portland. The Portland police chief left, went to Philly, then she left Philly. Other people, it was a mess. I don't know if that's why, but it coincided with it. Oregon leaders from CBS 58 and CNN joined forces to declare a 90-day state of emergency in downtown Portland, funneling resources into fighting the city's deadly fentanyl crisis. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek, Multnomah County Chair Vanessa Vega Pedersen, and Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler each made an emergency declaration to address the public health and public safety. It ain't fentanyl. It's them doing illegal drugs and overdosing with fentanyl in it. But nonetheless, our country and our state has never seen a drug this deadly and addictive. Yeah, because if you stop doing illegal drugs anyway, then you won't have that problem. Anyway, they passed Measure 110 in 2020, which decriminalized some of the hard drugs, including fentanyl. Stupid on top of stupid. A potent synthetic opioid. The measure has received criticism as opioid deaths climbed steadily. Opioid overdose deaths in the state, get this, increased from 280 in 2019 to 956 in 2022, according to the state's data. And nearly 70,000 people in the U.S. have died from drug overdoses that involved fentanyl. That's probably the first time I've seen that written in a correct way. If you stop using drugs, you'll technically stop using fentanyl. But we just want to stop fentanyl, and we're saying it's a fentanyl issue when it's actually you doing illegal drugs when you're not supposed to be doing illegal drugs. So for the next 90 days, unprecedented collaboration and focused resources targeting fentanyl. Really? So when they were rioting and shooting up and killing and robbing and all that, you couldn't see it. But now that the fentanyl overdoses are predominantly a group of people that don't look like me, now we want to call a 90-day emergency. Okay. Did we call a 90-day emergency when the crack epidemic was on? Did we call a 90-day emergency during Black Lives Matter? Did we call a 90-day? Oh, okay. During the Sherman Park riots? Why is it all of a sudden so important all around the world and all around the country that these things happen? Oh, I remember. Because the majority of people that die don't look like me. And it's unfortunate that it happens. Don't think I'm trying to racialize it. It's unfortunate that it's happening, and no one should die from a drug overdose. But you got to actually not do drugs in order to not die from a drug overdose. And until we're calling out the people that are doing it, who are victimizing themselves, not the fentanyl, they're victimizing themselves, will we get a proper look at what's all that's happening and how we need to fix it and how we need to make it not so. But telling people not to do fentanyl when, in fact, you should be telling them not to do drugs. They're cutting it with fentanyl. So, I don't know. Well, hang on. I do know. Lock them up. Well, that's not the answer to everything. It's the one place where I can guarantee to get court-ordered mental health and drug rehabilitation. And there's just gonna have to be some places where the federal government or the state government comes in and takes over and makes you get court-ordered help. See, the problem with court-ordered help is nobody pays for it. So when they tell you, hey, it's a court-ordered drug test, you got to pay for it, right? When it's a court-ordered AODA counseling, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, pay for it, which defeats the purpose. If you could pay for it, we wouldn't have an issue. If you could get help, we wouldn't have an issue. We would just calm down, figure out a way, instead of having so much over collaboration that everybody has to get their little piece in so that by the time you pass a bill that's supposed to help, it's garbage. And it does absolutely nothing. And that's what a lot of our politicians do. So we need to make sure that we take the time out and really listen and create an instance where people can actually get help. I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. We got a lot more coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, including 5 at 5.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube every day from 1 to 4. I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
We have Thursday night basketball on 1017 The Truth. The Panthers head to Fort Wayne, Indiana to take on the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons.
Pratt at the top to catch. Eric, step back three on the way. Got it at the buzzer.
Scott Warris has the coverage Thursday starting at 5:30 on 1017 The Truth and the Educators Credit Union Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield.
Stewart for three, and he buries it from the right wing. And there is always room for Jell-O.
Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think. Stargardt disease was supposed to define me.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. A blinding eye disease attempted to force me away from doing what I was born to do.
But it cannot stop me. I have the tools.
I will keep moving forward.
Pushing past the limits of this disability.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Loss of sight won't blind our vision. Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Join the livest radio show in Milwaukee, Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. Listen every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Want to remind you, it's big week for First Stage. Truth Nation, the best-selling book, the Percy Jackson series, comes alive on stage as the Marcus Performing Arts Center premieres The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical. When Zeus's master lightning bolt is stolen, Percy Jackson makes it his mission to find and return the bolt to prevent a war between the gods. This world-famous series turned into a play runs from February 3rd to March 10th. Get your tickets now. See The Lightning Thief, a Percy Jackson musical, by visiting firststage.org. That's firststage.org. Check it out. First Stage. I'm going to call it First Stage Nation. First Stage Truth Nation. All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. Security Mike, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Ken? Hey, man, that's why I hate these young brothers, man. They cutting this stuff. 'Cause I know two females that passed away in the last couple of years, and I'm real sad for Jackie that passed last summer because she was trying, kick that addiction. It's hard for them. Both of them females, man. They fighting with that addiction, man. They out here messing with it. I think they both was messing with heroin or crack. But these young brothers cutting it with stuff that they know gonna kill somebody.
Right.
I said, well, what happened with the baking powder or the baking soda, stuff like that? They didn't went just so
Right.
dangerous. I don't know if you remember last summer when 72 was passed away last summer. 72 dealing with fentanyl.
Right.
And I was like, man, I hope Jackie, this one particular.
But you do
female I know
understand that
passed away
fentanyl
last
is
summer.
not the problem.
I'm like, wow.
But you do understand fentanyl is
no,
not the problem.
that's what I'm telling you. You right about what you're saying. It's the dope. If they leave the dope alone, that's why I feel bad for Jackie. She was a good woman. She worked the job and stuff, kept a nice crib, man, her spotless. You know what I'm saying? And then when I heard she died, I was like, man, my heart dropped, man, because she was fighting with that addiction. She was trying to stop and stuff, man, but I guess that urge for that once you on that, because she's been doing it a while, but trying to fight to get off of. She said, "Yeah, Mike, I'm trying to kick this habit, but it's so damn hard. I mean, so darn hard."
Okay.
And but she passed away. So you right about what you saying. If they leave them drugs alone, they'll leave the fentanyl alone because they cutting them drugs
Right.
with fentanyl.
All right. Thank you much.
Crazy, man.
All right.
They cutting it
Appreciate you.
with the fentanyl. Yep.
833-212-1017 is the number. Wink! You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, good afternoon, Doc. I couldn't help but to comment on this particular topic. You correct about if they just leave drugs alone, but we have to realize something, that in the 80s, this drugs period was deemed a incurable disease. It still is if you go to the NA and the AA books. It's an incurable disease. One hit is too many, 1,000 is not enough. And the Reagan era had deemed it that and set up all kind of recovery facilities and rehab facilities, and it was actually deemed a disability. It was deemed a disability, and people were receiving disability for it because it's really an incurable disease, man. And when you talk about fentanyl, Doc, there are people that want fentanyl, okay? They don't want heroin. They want the fentanyl pill. They want fentanyl.
It's fentanyl. Fentanyl with an F.
Go ahead.
Fentanyl.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying it like I'm using my Ebonics, okay? I'm using the hood Ebonics, fentanyl, okay? Now, people have actually want to have that. And remember, the fentanyl patch, they come in 80 milligrams, 100 milligrams.
But they're getting it in illegal drugs.
I can't hear you.
They're getting it in illegal drugs.
Correct. But what you're right about the whole deal is if you leave dope alone, period, you don't have to worry about fentanyl. But I wanted to add that to the conversation that there are some people that want fentanyl. They don't want heroin like that. Sure. They want the fentanyl pill, man. They want to do it like that.
Well, that'll
they
kill
want
you.
the patch. I can't hear you. What'd you say?
That'll kill you.
Well, but that's what they want, Doc. I don't want to kill you, Doc. Cocaine will kill you.
If you take too much of it, sure.
Well, hey, listen, it's an incurable disease, and due to the disability, I want to tell people this. You know how Bill Clinton was able to get a big deficit, a big surplus? Because he canceled that programs, the drug programs. He canceled all of that. He took the disabled people off of that. He took all of the stuff that they had set up for people to go to these drug rehabs. He killed and squashed all of that. Okay. And guess what? That added so many billions and billions of dollars back to the surplus. But these are people that don't do the history. They just go about what they can hear. Doc, I got to go. I appreciate the minute, man. The few minutes of fame. Thank you.
833-212-1017 is the number. Marlon, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good evening. So I hear people say, just get off drugs. Just get off drugs is very easy for those who do not have an addictive personality. I deal with clients every day who are drug addicts, and it's like you said, it's like a disease. You know what I mean? But we have to understand that. I have also clients who used to do heroin and stuff like that, and they don't do it any longer. They kicked the habit because they didn't like the one guy said the fentanyl would make them sick, and the other lady said a lot of her friends were dying, so she didn't want to have to do it. So we have to look at the whole thing. You can't just say somebody get off of get off of drugs.
Well, we know that.
But it's a lot. It's very hard for a lot of people. I just heard the other guy say, "Just tell them to get off drugs." Well, that's pretty easy to say, but it's really hard to do.
Well, but you got to help them get off drugs. You got to actually help them.
Yes, we have to help them. The only thing that I have an issue with is, when it was a crack epidemic and then the black community,
right.
There really wasn't as much.
But none of it. No, Marlon. It wasn't none of this.
Yes, exactly. I'm just saying, and now it's in the white community, we got all this stuff coming down the pipeline.
But
so
Marlon,
that's
are you a what do you call it? Are you a counselor?
No, it's technically yes and no, probation and parole agent.
Okay, perfect, exactly. So we have people who are using illegal drugs and committing a crime. Why aren't we putting them in jail, and why aren't we revoking these folks who are using drugs that have fentanyl in it? Why are we allowing people to use fentanyl as a reason why, and not really putting the onus on the person that's deciding to do the drugs?
Well, there's a couple reasons of why we're not putting people in jail. One is they're trying to get people more help versus always incarcerating them. Number two is the jails are overflowing, and there's really no room for some places for some of these people to go. When they do commit like big crimes, a lot of times the judges do sentence them to probation or even to prison, and then when they get out, then we have to do it. So those are kind of the big two right there. Is they're trying to help people get off drugs by getting them into community programs and stuff like that. Or number two, the jails are just
then I guess he just faded away. The jails are full, and the jails are full of people who committed, I guess, more heinous crimes. And I guess if you're on drugs and you commit a homicide or attempt homicide or major theft or burglary or robbery, then you get, whacked, so to speak. But, I don't know. I don't get it. Well, we're going to take an early break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the top 5 at 5.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it is the effective communication coach Denise Thomas from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Look, y'all, I got to let you know that the best morning show on planet Earth is now streaming live on YouTube every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yes, Truth Telling Hits with Telly and Truth Swiping are coming at you live and in color every weekday on YouTube. So go to YouTube right now to subscribe to 1017 The Truth and watch Telly and I do our thing and get your morning started off right. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Social injustices have created a long-standing list of disparities in education access and the quality of education. Injustice is also seen in sexuality education provided to students. Students really need the full spectrum of what it means to have the information so that they can take care of themselves. Reproductive justice leaders advocate for schools to provide comprehensive sexuality education, which helps students to prevent unintended pregnancies and obviously increase their chances of graduating. It's really important for the listeners to remember that even if you don't have students in MPS, even if you're not a parent, those students are part of our community and they deserve our support. The more that they receive, the better off they are, the better off our community is.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth.
Who are we? We are the ones who learn to do what we love. We're the ones who want to work, who want to learn from firsthand experience, to earn an income, who don't need to spend 4 years in lecture halls. We're the healthcare, construction and utility workers, manufacturers, agriculturists, and service and IT professionals. We are Wisconsin Apprentices. Learn more at wisconsinapprenticeship.org. Brought to you by the Department of Workforce Development.
The moment you've been waiting for is here. Eagle Sports Range is officially open for action. It's Wisconsin's largest indoor range with 40 lanes, unlimited range time, and no reservations needed. Just show up and let the fun begin. With a staggering selection of 100 firearm options to use, every visit is a new adventure. Eagle Sports Range is also a go-to for education. Take advantage of concealed carry classes and gun safety courses. Safety first, excitement second. Visit them out in Cudahy or online at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where education meets exhilaration.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Number 5. Well, Tony Evers did it, and I don't really know what it was. So, from JS Online, a new kind of dental profession was created in Wisconsin today after years of gridlock in the state capitol over whether to allow the licensure of dental therapists, a healthcare worker who is trained to fill basic cavities, place temporary crowns, and provide preventative care. Governor Tony Evers signed a package of bills on today aimed at bolstering the dental healthcare workforce and increasing access to care. One proposal creates a new license for dental therapists. He proposes creating the new license in 3 state budget proposals, but the measures were removed by Republicans on the legislature budget writing committee and wasn't included in the final spending plans, which I think the Republicans were 110% incorrect for doing that. The Wisconsin Dental Association had been opposed to the idea for years, but did not register in opposition to the latest proposal. Until now, legislative proposals to allow the profession in Wisconsin had failed, and the association withdrew its opposition after lawmakers agreed to include rules such as requiring them to graduate from accredited training programs and work under a dentist supervision. Well, of course. That's like being a doctor of nurse practitioner and not like actually like working with a doctor. Like who would do that? So this makes perfect sense. Makes absolutely perfect sense. I mean, there's a thing called independence, but then there's a thing where at some point you have to do the right thing. And so proponents of allowing them to practice in Wisconsin contend dental therapists whose salaries are roughly half those of dentists are a more cost-effective way to provide care to low-income patients while freeing dentists to focus on more complex procedures. What that sounds like is poor people get the poor dental therapists and rich people get a real dentist. Okay. I'm just saying, wow. Sometimes we don't really think about what we write and how we say it and what we do. Sometimes we just do it.
Number 4.
Well, I've seen it before, and now I'll see it again. But I don't know whether or not this applies to me, so I'm going to have to look into it. Over 1,300 Wisconsin workers are owed more than $1.5 million in back wages. And you can check and see if you're one of them. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the department's wage and hour division recovered these back wages, but a significant portion of that money remains unclaimed because some workers can't be located. In many cases, this says Scott Allen, who's the department spokesperson, in many cases, the employees change jobs, change addresses, and can't be notified of the money due them. Name changes or an employer's failure to retain contact information can also make it difficult for us to find employees and put wages recovered into their hands. Division can only hold them for 3 years, though before it's required to turn the money over to the Department of Treasury. So the agency developed an online search tool called Workers' Old Wages, or WOW, into which people can enter information to find if they're owed wages. So here's my question. If I'm owed wages and you got to give me wages, at what point am I just out there? Like, at what point do I owe money on taxes that I got to pay? So, I don't know if I'm going with that. I don't know. I think depending on, well, I mean, if I find that it's like a couple $1,000s, yeah, I'm gonna take it. But if it's like $100, something, I don't know.
Number 3.
If you haven't heard, Harley Davidson announced a new Pan American motorcycle and 3 other new bikes as part of the 2024 lineup. The Pan America is a strong seller since its debut 3 years ago. Now, for the first time, it's also in Harley's high-end custom vehicle operations lineup. It comes with a black, red, and white paint scheme and a Harley Davidson 1 logo on the fuel tank. So I'm not a motorcycle. Like, that's one of the things I want to do. I want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. So, because I know how to drive pretty much anything with a stick. And I can drive anything automatic. And I've taken emergency vehicle operation, and I was actually an instructor in emergency vehicle operation, driving fast, driving in a city, turning and all that, driving at high speeds and avoiding crashes and all that. So the one thing I never did is ride a motorcycle. Now, granted, people say, well, you don't understand because you don't have a motorcycle. I don't really get it. Number one. Number two, if I rode a motorcycle, I want to be out in the country somewhere. I don't want to get hit by something, you know. The new Pan America retails for $28,399. It also introduced new street glides and road glides that are powerful, more powerful and lighter than previous versions. So, yeah, odds are, I'm just saying, odds are I'm probably like not going to get a motorcycle. And I'm sad.
Number 2.
Northwestern Mutual, downtown Milwaukee's largest employer, has some advice for its workers this July. From JS Online, when the Republican National Convention comes to Milwaukee in July, it will bring thousands of people, and downtown's largest employer is advising its employees to stay at home. We're probably going to have everyone work remotely that week, says the CEO in an interview with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. We know traffic will be a nightmare, and what we don't want is to force people to commute. The RNC is planned to be here July 15th through the 18th. Hey, Kyle, I'm taking that week off, just so you know. I'm going to Ghost Breath, Idaho, somewhere. Thousands of people are going to be here from the country, from around the country and inside and out the country, and they're going to be all here when the party officially nominates its candidate for president. So the days-long event will come with congested streets and bars and restaurants and Fiserv Forum. And Northwestern Mutual has about 4,500 employees working downtown. Yeah, stay at home. If I was them, I would definitely, most definitely, stay at home.
Number 1.
Well, from the Journal-Sentinel, it's a fundamental change. I'm sorry, let me get this right. It's a fundamental charge of reporters in the newsroom of the Journal-Sentinel to listen to the community. And really, it's that of reporters everywhere. This is from Greg Borowski, who's the managing editor of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And it is the job of a newsroom like ours to provide a forum for ideas to be exchanged, tested, and heard, for voices to be elevated and people empowered. But let me state that up front, because otherwise it is bound to be missed by some. Anyway, with this announcement, as of Thursday, February 1st, JS Online will no longer have a comment function available on their articles on jsonline.com. I do not view these things as contradictory. No one should have to listen to a few people standing bravely behind fake names, lob racist or misogynistic taunts at them or others. And a forum of ideas should not involve running debates on whose mother does what to whom. Allowing that only elevates bad behavior and only empowers bullies. Now, I know there are many who use the comment function as a genuine, thoughtful way and will truly miss the opportunity to engage with others about the latest vote in Madison or the latest Bucks move. We're looking for ways to bolster that type of exchange with new features. More on that to come and more details below. I am sorry that others have ruined it for you. In some ways, this is the inevitable end of a progression. So, personally, I think that's a great idea. I think that when you read something that a journalist writes, you should be able to process it on your own. Think about it on your own. And if you like it or don't like it, or love it or don't love it, that's fine. But like he talked about, the libel slinging accusations, the name calling, the bickering, the back and forth, it's eliminated. And the parent company eliminated comments at most of their newsrooms, and they try to continue it, but it doesn't seem to be working. And so I applaud the Journal-Sentinel for stepping up and recognizing that sometimes there comes a time when you need to process the news on your own, process the story on your own through your emotions, your experiences, your life, your lifestyle, and come up with a clear idea of what it means for you. And I think it's great. That way you don't call people out. You don't label them something. They've got new reader focus features coming where they've added a mailbox feature where Green Bay Packer reporters answer readers' questions, more frequent, more robust selection of letters to the editors in print and online. And so you'll be able to talk to other people as well. So Greg Borowski, I think this is a absolutely phenomenal idea. And it actually, I think, will open up more dialogue with your readers.
Number 1.
That wasn't number 1? I thought that was number 1. Was that number 1? Did I count right? Let's see. Did I count right? Did I count right? I thought I did number 1. You just siding with because it's me. You know you have to hide. You know I got to hide the fact that if I counted wrong, it can't be my fault. I'm pretending to be a You know what? 833-212-1017. Did I say 1 twice? Or did I say 2 and 1? Or did I count wrong? Let me see. What can I give the first caller? Let me see. What can I give away? Nothing. Because we can't. So, my bad.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He has inspired generations of change leaders, and many more are to come. Let's celebrate his legacy by enjoying incredible speeches by Milwaukee Public Schools students.
As a third grader, it is my job to show the younger students how to have a peaceful classroom. When we're on the playground or around the school and I see someone being mean, I ask them if they are okay. Because sometimes there's a reason why they're being mean. If someone hits you, don't hit back. find out why, and try to make them feel better. And we work together to make things right. When I am understanding and helpful, I can bring peace to my school. In my neighborhood, we work towards peace by greeting each other kindly. Because if you show kindness to others, they will show kindness to you. When you're out and about, say good morning and always use nice words too. Because if you bring peace, then others will follow. As important as kindness and peace are in how we treat others each day, Dr. King stood for much more. He once said, God has left enough in this world for all his children to have the basic necessities of life. God never intended for some of his children to live in inordinate, superfluous, and wealth, while others lived in abject, deadening poverty. He opposed violence in all its forms, racism, bigotry, poverty, and greed. We must work together to make a Dr. King's dream a reality, because together we can all achieve world peace.
Marcus Performing Arts Center and We Energies are proud to sponsor the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Speech Contest and pleased to share these extraordinary student speeches with you.
Gamers, seeking top-notch tech services? PWD Computers is your ultimate destination. Custom-built gaming PCs for a high-end gaming experience. From Windows to Apple. With years of experience, PWD Computers are here for you. 3800 West Bleed Street. Open weekdays 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a job? Direct Connect MKE is a social media style platform that empowers you to grow your social network, find career opportunities, and connect with career specialists for success. Visit joindcmke.com today to learn how you can create a profile, upload your resume, and find access to information about jobs, job training, hiring events, and more. DCMKE is locally focused and equips you to grow your social capital and find opportunities that match your career interests. Visit joindcmke.com today and connect your dream to reality.
The traffic and weather update on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by the City of Milwaukee's Direct Connect MKE. Make connections and explore career opportunities by visiting directconnectmke.com. An accident on westbound 94 coming out of the stadium interchange. Off on the right shoulder. Squad is with it right now, but we do have delays coming out of the Marquette all the way to that point. So do be prepared. Eastbound's pockets of heavy traffic from 76th Street all the way through the stadium interchange also. And then on northbound 43, slowing from Fond du Lac to Keefe. The southbound side's going to be slow from just north of Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and onto 4394. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 36. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 42. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The offseason activities are fully underway in Titletown this week as the Packers are still on the hunt for their next defensive coordinator. Green Bay did add 2 more names to their search on Tuesday, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Ravens secondary coach Denard Wilson and inside linebackers coach for Baltimore, Zach Orr. Over to college hoops, where the 9th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles secured their 5th win in a row. This one on the road in Villanova for the 85-80 win.
Kolek has it in the right corner. Kolek will try another three. Good again!
Kolek with a career-high 32 points, and with the win, Marquette improving to 16-5 on their season. And lastly, the Milwaukee Bucks are back on the road tonight in Portland as their West Coast road trip continues on. Coverage will get underway over on WTMJ beginning at 8:30 with a tip time of 9 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017. Here's a number. So, I guess they're at it again. This from the Washington Free Beacon. Evidently, it's not just Claudine Gay. Harvard's chief diversity officer plagiarized and claimed credit for her husband's work, a complaint alleges. From yesterday, it says, it's not just Claudine Gay, Harvard University's chief diversity and inclusion officer, Sherry Ann Charleston, appears to have plagiarized extensively in her academic work, lifting large portions of text without quotation marks, and even taking credit for a study done by another scholar, her own husband, according to a complaint filed with the university this past Monday and a Washington Free Beacon analysis. The complaint makes 40 allegations of plagiarism that span the entirety of Charleston's thin publication record. In her 2009 dissertation submitted to the University of Michigan, Charleston quotes or paraphrases nearly a dozen scholars without proper attribution, the complaint alleges, and in her sole peer-reviewed journal article co-authored with her husband, LeVar Charleston, in 2014, the couple recycled much of a 2012 study published by LeVar Charleston, the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Inclusion at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, framing the old material as new research. You can reconfigure and look at the same data in a different way. But anyway, through the sleight of hand, Sherry Ann Charleston effectively took credit for her husband's work. The 2014 paper, which was also co-authored with Jelando Jackson, now the dean of the Michigan State University's College of Education, and appeared in the Journal of Negro Education, has the same methods, findings, and description of survey subjects in the 2012, which involved interviews of black computer science students and was first published by the Journal of Diversity in Higher Education. The two papers even report identical interview responses from those students. The overlap suggests that the authors did not conduct new interviews for the 2014 study, but instead relied on LeVar Charleston's interviews from 2012, a severe breach of research ethics, according to the experts who reviewed the allegations. Interesting. So basically, she wrote a paper. Her husband was with her. And so because they're married, does it matter? Like, because they're married, does it like give less weight to it or something? I don't know. Peter Wood, the head of the National Association of Scholars and a former associate provost at Boston University, where he ran several academic integrity probes, said the 2014 paper appears to be entirely counterfeit. This is research. This is research fraud, pure and simple. So I find it interesting that, they pull other people in. Interesting. A historian and attorney by training, Charleston has taught courses on gender studies at the University of Wisconsin, according to her Harvard bio, which describes her as one of the leading experts on diversity. Okay. The site says that her work involves translating diversity and inclusion research into practice. So what does all this mean? Steve McGuire, former political theory professor at Villanova, who reviewed the 2012 and 2014 papers, says Sherry Charleston appears to have used somebody else's research without proper attribution. 1/5 of the 2014 paper, including 2/3 of the findings section, was published in a 2012 study, according to the complaint, and 3 interview responses are identical to the articles, suggesting they came from the same survey. He said, who was it? According to Lee Gissam, a social psychologist at Rutgers said it is essentially impossible for different people in two different studies to produce the same quote. At best, the authors got their wires crossed in mixed up interviews from two separate surveys, both of which just happened to involve 37 participants and the exact same demographic profile. At worst, the authors committed data fraud by framing old survey responses as new ones, a separate and more serious offense. The Journal of Negro Education did not respond to a request for comment. Sherry Ann Charleston, LeVar Charleston, and Jolando Jackson did not respond to requests for comment. So it's just one article, and it's how many years ago? 10 years ago? 12 years ago? So when are we going to stop going back to dig and look and screen and do all these things to make sure we find something somebody did and then throw it in their face? Look what you did 12 years ago. Did you ever ask them, what did you learn since then? What have you heard since then? But you're actually going back to a study that probably wasn't that long anyway, that probably wasn't that many pages. And here's who you should be blaming: the peer reviewers who reviewed it. Somebody didn't do their due diligence. Somebody didn't come in and say, hey, I Googled this. I went into the library and went on to the online sources and I checked, and this came up. So it's easy to say these people did something wrong, but in academic terms, what was that? In academic terms, I think you're just barking up a tree and you're just going after people because you don't like diversity. That's what I think. I think that you've tagged somebody and you're going after Harvard and you're just going after people because you're just probably right-leaning. And I get it. But at some point, aren't you about 12 years too late? 10 years too late? Is it really that important? I mean, does it really, really make that big of a deal, one article? And I'm sure you had to have gone back through every single thing that she's written and done to find this one thing. But to be honest with you, I'm sure everybody has overlooked or written or said or did something that could be easily attributable to someone else. And to be honest with you, the shorter the quote, the more times you can find it. Because some things just happen to be common knowledge, things like that. But none of that was taken into consideration, it looks like. It looks like it was just the blame game. Interesting. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
At the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
Are you an older adult or an adult with disability who makes too much for Medicaid benefits? Well, good news. You may qualify for $7,200 to help pay for short-term or continuous in-home services through the new Milwaukee County Independent Living Supports pilot program. If you qualify, it can help pay for things like specialized medical equipment, home modifications, personal care, and other services that improve your quality of life. Do yourself a favor and don't leave this opportunity on the table. You deserve to live life to the fullest. Find out if you qualify right away by visiting county.milwaukee.gov/ILSP. Again, that's county.milwaukee.gov/ILSP. Or call 414-289-6874. Again, that's 414-289-6874. Milwaukee County Independent Living Supports Pilot Program. Live your life to the fullest.
Who are we? We are the ones who learn to do what we love. We're the ones who want to work, who want to learn from firsthand experience, to earn an income, who don't need to spend 4 years in lecture halls. We're the healthcare, construction and utility workers, manufacturers, agriculturists, and service and IT professionals. We are Wisconsin Apprentices. Learn more at wisconsinapprenticeship.org. Brought to you by the Department of Workforce Development.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
MPS City Conference basketball officially lives here. We are in the heart of the Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference season. Tune in Friday night as we have a battle for the top spot in the City Conference Gold Division as the Carmen Northwest Eagles host the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, with some music from Yellow Jackets, one of my favorite jazz quartets. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, I live in Sherman Park. And so, there are about 10 hours of daylight in the city of Milwaukee right now. But those other 14 hours are extra dark in a number of neighborhoods. This is from TMJ4 by Sean Gallagher. The city's Department of Public Works says it's dealing with an all-time high number of streetlight outages. And as of last Monday morning, there are 121 active streetlight circuit troubles or outages reported. According to the city's complaint system, there have been 39 complaints of street outages this year alone. And I'm about to make it 40. But it's an issue that's been going on for much longer than those numbers actually say. For the last 7 days, said John Jeffrey, it's been pretty much pitch dark from my house and 4 houses down. You can't even see the cars behind me. This is on Catherine, just south of Villard. His block is going to a full week without street lights. Well, mine's been about a week and a half. If you go up Sherman Boulevard, north of Center, there's like no street lights. Almost all the way up to Burleigh. There's none on Grant. There's none on 41st. There's none on 44th. So, just driving through. So, we're paying extra, right? So, you got us paying, what, $17 for street lights that don't work? I want my money back. I want my money back. Because now you lied and you said that if I pay for them, we can get the street lights on, and now the street lights are not on. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to get bopped in the head or something bad's going to happen, and then you'll be talking about, yeah. Jeffrey said light is supposed to be a deterrent for criminal activity. With no lights here, who's to say there's not someone creeping around in the bushes? We have kids on the block, elderly folk. Crime is our main concern. So DPW says report outages to 414-286-CITY or 414-286-2489, or you can click the website like I'm doing right now. Let's see. So our street lights, electrical services, yes. All right. Let me go back. What does it say? Street and city lights. Street light cycling, street light out. And here's a description. Street lights out on, got to do it live, multiple blocks. Can't spell. Yeah. Multiple blocks. Let me see. Okay. Yep. Let me see. Because I'm typing it in now. Center to Burleigh. Yep. Sometimes you just got to do stuff when it happens and when it comes. So just do it. Right? Yep. So there you go. And then I'm going to click submit. So, okay. So where exactly do you, so let me read this may request be complete prior to repairs being finished. But when I click it, it doesn't go through. Hey, City of Milwaukee. Let me do this. Let's do this. I'm going to click that and then put an address in. There. And click submit. No, I don't want to. That's none of your business. But I'm going to do it anyway. It says I have to create an account. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an account. And that way, when we have a complaint, when we have a, I'm trying to sign up. Nope. Let's do this. So what I'm doing is creating a brand new account. I'm signing in so I can track it right here at Good Karma Brands. That way, if anybody complains, okay, let's do that. I guess all my usernames are used up, and now I'm done. There. So if you ever say that I never do anything, or, oh, you got to do this or do that, or you got to, well, this is what I did. I literally plugged in, got the account made, and submitted the complaint. That way nobody can complain about, oh, you said it, but you didn't do it. Nope, I did it. I did it. I was looking on Blavity, by the way, moving on, and Trevor Noah is on the 2024 Grammys, and he's excited for Burna Boy and his, quote, luck in hosting the show for a fourth straight year. Here's my question to you. Noah said it's a different platform and a different form, and so I love being able to speak to people directly. But my question is, what has Noah, what has he done? Can anybody tell me? Like, what has Trevor Noah, other than a talk show, failed, of course? What has he done? I mean, does anybody even like Trevor Noah? Like, I've never met a person say, hey, what are you doing today? Hey, I'm going to watch Trevor Noah. No, ever. And I'm sure people say the same thing about me. So I'm okay with that, but I'm just trying to understand, do they feel sorry for him that he lost his show? So now they're giving him all the little stuff that he can do to make money. And I'm like, I don't know. I watched the show. I tried to watch the show, and I've just never been a fan of Trevor Noah. And the reason I'm not a fan is you come from another country and you come here and you get paid and you work and you trash our country. You need to go back home. You need to get your happy, I can't say that, your hip happy self and get on a plane and go home. I just don't get it. I just don't. He's not, and he might be funny. I don't know. But when I watched him on the show, I was like, no. I don't understand what people see in Trevor Noah. I don't know why people like Trevor Noah. And when he talks, he's actually irritating. What am I missing? Man. Oh. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. Tomorrow we got a ball game, so I'll be out early at about 5:27. And other than that, I want to say thank you to Rhea. Appreciate you. Have a great day. God bless. Take care. Go Bucks. Go Packers. Go maybe the Chiefs, but I don't know if they're going to pull it out. So might be a San Francisco kind of day. God bless. Take care. I'm out.
Hey Truth Nation, it's your girl Melanie Ricks from Nothing But the Truth, and I am so happy to let you know the best radio show in Milwaukee is now streaming live on YouTube every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. Yes, your daily power hour of nonstop entertainment is coming at you live on YouTube every weekday. So Truth Nation, make sure you don't miss Benjamin and I give our hot takes or our Freaky Friday story by watching us live on YouTube and subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
It's big week for First Stage. Truth Nation, the best-selling Percy Jackson series is about to come alive on stage. The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical, will be showing at the Marcus Performing Arts Center in Milwaukee. When Zeus's master lightning bolt is stolen and Percy becomes his prime suspect, he has to find and return the bolt to prove his innocence and prevent a war between the gods. This entertaining play runs from February 3rd to March 10th. Don't miss The Lightning Thief, a Percy Jackson musical, by visiting firststage.org.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think. Stargardt disease was supposed to define me.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
A blinding eye disease attempted to force me away from doing what I was born to do.
But it cannot stop me. I have the tools.
I will keep moving forward.
Pushing past the limits of this disability.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Loss of sight won't blind our vision. Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge